Wow. I dropped a lot of knowledge. I think this might be my best Banter Blitz yet. Like, it's not only been humorous, but also full of wisdom thus far, which is a rare zone to hit, and I don't get there very often. Therefore, I'm not sure if this can be reproduced. I hope I have a local recording, because that was really some of my best thoughts ever. It was like peak Louis C.K. before all this stuff happened to him. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was sharing my ups and downs in this Bundesliga weekend, where I won in our key match against Solingen, which was nice, and then I did not manage to win on Sunday against a much lower rated opponent, which happens to me often with the black pieces in Bundesliga, especially on Sundays, and it always sends me into my usual spiral of misery, depression. I'm washed up, I haven't learned anything. The usual stuff. So that was that. I read a chess book, which was great. I read it on the long train trips from and to Baden-Baden. It's called the Vichy Files. It's about Vichy Annan's matches from 2008 till 2012. It has a shocking level of detail and access. They knew everything about everything. And yeah, clearly all the seconds gave some information, and it's great read, a lot of great pictures, good annotations. I enjoyed it. I'm not quite sure what went down behind the scenes, how he got all that access, but very much worth reading. As you guys might know, because I'm assuming you've watched every word I've ever said. I don't read that many chess books, which mainly because I don't seek them out very much. So if you have a good one, by all means, let me know. But that one, yeah, I got right there in Baden-Baden. I paid for it, but I got it right there. I even got Vichy to sign it. So that was great and really fun read. Speaking of fun read, my Chessable E4, E5 series is out. So if you're in the mood for some heavy theory, boom. A lot of E4, E5 nerding out. Speaking of E4, E5, I played the Caro-Kann here. It's not exactly E4, E5. Business, Jan. You gotta play E4, E5. Plug your series. But the Caro-Kann got me a free pawn on D4. So what's not to like, Caballero Oscuro? You gave me that pawn, and I shall never ever give it back. Grandmaster Grzeku, sorry if I'm bungling that name, is wondering how I read the book. If I read blindfold, yeah, there's lots of diagrams, and I can't decipher chess moves. I have to focus, but I can do that. He's also wondering if I'm planning to put out new Chess24 series. That's for sure. Yeah, I was on leave. What do you call it? Now Chessable is part of the family. I was borrowed to them, and I worked really hard on this Chessable course for the last 2 months. But I'm certainly planning to do more Chess24 stuff as well, because this is where I work. What's coming up in Chess24 land? There's Vike in January with Peter Svidler. Before that, when I come back from holidays and Christmas and that stuff, and if I don't get checkmated by Caballero in the meantime, I'm doing German commentary on the World Rapid and Blitz with my boy, Grandmaster Rabiga. That's usually a lot of fun for those of you who speak the German. And then, yeah, after Vike, the big highlight is the candidates, I think. I don't even know when that is. Probably you guys know. It's like April, May. So there should be some time in between those. Penta Chess is saying Chess for Zebras by Rausen is good. But Penta Chess also thinks that E4, D5, ED, Queen, D5 is good. So his opinion shall not be trusted. I think I read, did I read Chess for Zebras? I think I read that. I like the 7 deadly chess sins. Better Chess for Zebras was a bit too abstract for me, if I recall it correctly. But I like the 7 deadly chess sins. I know Jonathan. Very smart, nice, thoughtful. Does smart imply thoughtful? Nah, I'm sure that's smart, thoughtless people like me. Thoughtlessly taking this pawn. But yeah, thanks for the tip, Banter Chess. What are we discussing? The Irishman? I watched The Irishman. I must have talked about this in a previous show. I enjoyed it greatly. I mean, I guess you could argue it's not on the level of Goodfellas or Godfather or whatever the other great, whatever you want to call this genre, mafia opuses are. But for me, it was just so pleasant to spend time with Joe Pesci, who was fantastic in this movie, and De Niro and Pacino. And yeah, I didn't think it was like long-winded or anything. I could have watched that movie for 8 hours. So yeah, I thought it was a fantastic movie, or I had a fantastic time at the very least. And I liked it even better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I also liked. And it also had this vibe thing going, but the story was just much straighter in The Irishman. So I thought that was great. Wow, Grezhu with the Grandmaster title has a lot of questions here. What's my opinion about fast reading book? I don't know, the Zana book I was talking about, it's not exactly a theory book, it's just an enjoyable read about what happened in the team behind the scenes during these matches and some games that I'd obviously seen and followed, but I could not remember the details of, so I don't know, that wasn't work, it was just pleasure. So I didn't think about if it's more productive than going through the lines over the board. But frankly, I haven't been doing that for decades, like to get a chess book and go through the lines over the board. It's a nice idea, but who has the time or the patience? Speaking of who has the time, Caballero Oscuro no longer has any. Thanks for the game, Caballero Oscuro. That was, I was going to say a tough fight, and I was probably getting mated over here. But in order for it to be a tough fight, I would have had to pay more attention to the proceedings, which I'm sorry I was distracted catching up on all this stuff I had said when muted. Because this is only my 203rd show, I still haven't figured out I have to click on the little sound button in order to have sound. Anyway, thanks for the game. What else we have? Oh, that's a great username. Saucisson! Or as we say in German, Wurst. Greetings to my French friends who like that joke a lot. I've been around saucissons quite a bit. I think both Maxime and Laurent brought saucissons to one of our, I think it was a camp during the World Championship match. Speaking of telling behind the World Championship matches, scenes. Telling stories of behind the World Championship matches scenes. We had, I believe, 2 saucissons. Correct me, my French friends, if it was only one. I think there were 2. I do recall that Laurent got hurt while trying to cut apart a saucisson. And I do recall they did not appreciate that I was claiming that the German translation for saucisson is Wurst, which means sausage. It's probably as if I told them that the translation for baguette is bread. I don't know. Am I making more enemies in France? It's not my intention. I heard that you guys now have baguette machines, because many boulangeries have to close, and I wish we had those on every corner. So I asked some of the French guys I saw over the weekend, and they did not agree with that, or they hadn't seen any baguette machines, but they said maybe it's a Paris thing, maybe it's these bohemes in Paris that are getting their baguettes out of machines now. So if you have any knowledge on that topic, I'd be very curious to hear. Galactic is saying, you don't pronounce the S at the end of 2 saucissons. Un saucisson, 2 saucissons. Lifetime of learning, that's my motto. As for the game, Saucisson is playing well, kind of passively. It's a Grunfeld position, I would argue. It's about equal. That's all I got. And Panther chess is the usual thing that you're doing if you want to defend a sort of dodgy line. You hide behind the strong player that played it once or twice in Rapid or Blitz. Panther chess. You can also add Kramnik to your list. He also played it in a bunch of Rapid games. Oh, the speakers are on? Has the sound been okay? Everything's wrong. Maybe I turned these speakers on. I don't know. I'm an idiot. I think we can agree on that. Reading the Twitch chat where Bert Patzer has realized that there's no audio as well. Yeah, sorry about that. I am an idiot. Bishop e1. It's very deep, Saucisson. All right. I don't want to exchange queens. Can I go somewhere? Maybe here is more normal. You know, c-file. You never know. The Henker is saying cheese. I think ham is tastier, but there's more variety in cheese. What's the topic? If you had to live without cheese or without ham for the rest of your life? I tried both for a bit. I didn't hang in there. I ate vegan for, I think, like 2 weeks. And it was okay. My problem was first of all, obviously, I have no discipline. Also, I kept getting confused if it is healthy or not. Like I watched all these Netflix documentaries and I listened to a bunch of podcasts on nutrition about the vegan honeymoon and that you have to supplement and all that. My main problem was that to do the stuff. Did I talk about this? Do I talk about this every show? Sorry, I'm very much into nutrition. My main problem was that to keep eating the stuff I had been eating, or the dishes, I needed all these highly processed, like meat replacement things, which I didn't like these soy-based minced meat stuff and so on. So that probably isn't the idea of going vegan. And other than that, I'm not really good at cooking, so it seemed tough. Paul A.W. is saying, I work in a bakery, not in France, but we do have a machine that makes baguettes. That's not what I meant, though. I meant like a cigarette machine where you can baguettes on the street corner. You don't have to go into the bakery. I hear that's a new big thing. And by big thing, I mean, they probably exist, and I'm trying to blow it way out of proportion because it greatly annoys my dear friend Laurent Fressinet whenever I talk about pain blanc. I think he's okay with saucisson talk, but the baguette talk really, really bothers him. It's not my fault that he asked this waitress in Thailand, excuse me, do you have white bread? And she understood, excuse me, do you have white breasts? It was a very awkward moment. And it was still worth it because Laurent got his white bread. I hope he's not watching. Paul A.W. is saying their baguette machine is not even specifically designed for baguettes. Sorry, we're not accepting that. We want a pure baguette machine on street corners. As for the game, guess I'm doing okay, but I'll mainly win on time. You can see my passion for the royal game shining through. Not only through every move, but also through every word I say. Give me that pawn, or that pawn. Nah, he doesn't give me any pawn. Come on. Just one pawn, saucisson? Is that asking too much? Yep is saying, did you also see this Chris Kresser guy debunking the vegan documentary The Game Changers on Joe Rogan's podcast? Yeah, I've listened to a lot of Chris Kresser and quite a bit of Joe Rogan. I'm late to the Joe Rogan party, but I'm getting into it. Like, it's just pleasant to listen to. And a lot of the topics I'm interested in. So yeah, I listened to that one. I also listened to this Chris Kresser debate with the vegan doctor whose name escapes me, also on the Joe Rogan podcast. I watched The Game Changers, which I enjoyed. I thought it was a well-done movie. Some of the points I didn't like their big point was that the gladiators eat vegan diet. Like, do we want to live like the gladiators? They had a life expectation of like 2 years and were prisoners, right? I'm not sure they were on like a gourmet athlete's nutrition plan. But yeah, I like this The Game Changers movie. I got really motivated to stop eating crap. And speaking about this game, it's about to change because Saucisson is running out of time. Wow, my segues are on fire. Lex Daddy is saying, I need some soy mincemeat. Yeah, it's okay taste-wise actually, but when I'm trying to get more healthy than to switch to, which I guess must be very processed stuff, because soy doesn't look like minced meat normally. It didn't really do it for me. All right. Let's play David Jaramillo Duque. Now that's a name. I would change my name to David Jaramillo Duque in a heartbeat. Even though I wouldn't be able to pronounce it because it has an R in it. And Jaramillo is a tough word for me. E4, E5, best by test. I hear there's a good series out about this. Italian. Wow, we'll get some action. I've worked excessively on this recently, so I'm sure David will just crush me and make me look stupid. No, I don't want to give away my idea here, David. Nah, can't do it. I have a big idea here. Can't do it. Which I did publish, so probably I could do it. But bishop e7 is fine, cb5 is fine, h6 is fine. Those are a list of fine moves. Now bishop takes c6 is supposed to be too dangerous. d3 I've never seen. It's probably bad, because otherwise I would have seen it. How do we punish Mr. David for this? Calculate, Jan. cb5 is always an action here, an option. Queen a8, queen c7, something along those lines. Castle certainly looks possible. Bishop g4, bishop c6, king f8. Is that picking up a piece? We'll have to go bishop takes a8, then bishop f3, bishop f3. Not sure how that is. I'm so lazy, I'll just castle. Castle's fine, but there might very well have been a refutation. And d3 is wrong. He should play bishop d3 or bishop takes c6. Like, bite the bullet. Now let's get some counterplay. The good thing about this line is you usually can organize quite some counterplay, even when clueless like me. How exactly? Ugh, I'm feeling adventurous. David. Saki is asking, how can I challenge? My name should be below this video if you're watching on Chess24. You can hover over it and then click on challenge Jan or challenge or something. My username is Jan, so you can also search for me and challenge me once you've tracked me down. Speaking of track down, okay, I have to stop this, but my plan was bishop b4. If something gets in the way, rook e8 should pick up the queen. And king f1, rook e8, there's a nasty checkmate threat on e1. King d1 steps into knight c3. So I thought I was doing fine here. The best he has is probably c takes b4 now. Queen 8 is worse because I take back with check, and he only gets a rook for the queen, and it's not getting better. Kutowski is asking if I've ever considered the carnivore diet. No, I have not. I know Jordan B. Peterson and his daughter are doing that, but that sounds just weird to me. You're missing so many. I don't speak food English, even after listening to all these podcasts. Missing so much stuff. Also, doesn't sound very practical. What do you eat for breakfast? A steak? Or you don't eat breakfast, you just eat steaks with steak. No, I would never do that. Thanks for the game, David Jaramillo Duque. Yeah, after queen f3, there's many funky options. Bishop e7, I'm reasonably positive d3 is bad. I guess I didn't find the strongest reply. But as mentioned, even if you don't know your stuff, black gets so much play in these lines. And here, after bishop b4 check, I think it's already curtains. So, thank you for the game. Let's play against 3Rickson. 3Rickson Sony. Those were the days. Paolo A is asking if 3 minutes is okay. Yeah, 3 or 5 is okay. I slightly prefer 5 because I need to talk about the great nutrients that are in muscles. But for chess purposes, we can also play 3-minute games. Oh, this is another pet line of mine. This is my D4 Chess 24 series, where I still think this is a smart move. I haven't rechecked for a while. I need to get Lila 0 on all my old stuff. But I thought this was a clever waiting move, bishop d7. The point is knight d4, e5, and then the bishop can go to c6, the knight to d7, and if white plays a slower move, like b3, now I should be in time with knight c6, and also I can recapture here with the bishop if I choose to do so. At least I hope that was my reasoning. Might have just made it up. Three Rickson is playing some useful moves. Useful, usual. Bishop c5, I'm mildly worried about takes and b4. But just mildly. And since it's a 3-minute game, mild worries should not send me into a spiral of thinking. I had this on Sunday. I was sitting there thinking, could not calculate a single line. I'm sure you guys know the feeling. Not enjoying myself. It's always these first Bundesliga games are always tough for me. And yes, I am making excuses. But yeah, I usually have this long break after the Thailand Open because I don't play much, which is in April, through the summer until Bundesliga restarts in like November. So the first 2 weekends, I got out of them with limited damage, 3 out of 4. It's not the end of the world. But I could tell my head is really, really slow. Maybe that's because I don't use my banter games for training, but for talking nonsense. And maybe, just maybe, I should focus more. But then again, who wants to see that? Okay, it's not like people are watching this either way. Give me that. Once again, I'll try to keep queens on the board, because usually people spend more time with queens on the board, and then once you get to the end game and mess it up, you can flag them. That is my reasoning. And I think it's very sound logic. He's trying to speed up, but that, of course, is a risky strategy, because I might start taking some of his things if he speeds up too much. So it's a slippery slope, this blitz. Horsey here, can I do that? I want to go horsey here. Yeah. Hashtag why not? On fire today. Queen g4, queen f2 is kind of checkmate. Knight e3 is a threat, rook f2 is a threat. So 3Rickson is in trouble. Now rook e4 seems to win, question mark. Knight e3 certainly wins. But which one is it? This has to be checkmate, but once again my lack of calculating prowess, speed, something is an issue, so I'll play it safe. I'm ashamed about this move, because rook e4 I think is probably like mate in 5 moves, but I do not see it. I'm ashamed. I feel dirty now. I feel dirty about knight e3. Like a dirty old man, not in a good way. Then again, when I was good at Blitz, kids, in the year 2001, your Aunt Robin was a strong Blitz player. She excelled at making simple moves, not trying too hard to solve combinations. And she would win one game after the other. But then, in her later days, your Aunt Robin developed an interest for the scientific truth behind chess, and it did her Blitz play no good whatsoever. Queen f5, she would miss tricks like queen takes e2. She was never the player she used to be. Nah. Knight h3. I want to push this pawn, but the stupid rook is still hanging. The rook is on fire. Now, pawn z. Now's your big day. We mate. Thanks, 3 Son. That was a tense fight. So Sisson is saying, sorry for being so slow. I was trying not to make mistakes too hard. Never apologize for being slow. That is what flagging Blitz is based around. Panther Chess saying, if there is a Bundesliga game in Hockenheim or Viernheim, I will be there. Hockenheim is only some miles from me. Do you live on the Hockenheim ring? I spend a lot of time in Hockenheim. Mainly, literally, on the Hockenheim ring. I think our hotel was next to it and we were training there with the view on the side. But Panther Chess. Hockenheim is not that far from Baden-Baden or Deizisau. So I will consider it as a personal offense. You didn't stop by there. And you're waiting for the circus to come to your town. Paparapapa. Paparappa. Paparappa. Paparappa? Maybe that's Eminem's son. Paparappa. Flintar is saying, Jan on Twitch now. Cool, I always miss these. Haven't we been on Twitch for like years and years? I haven't been bantering so much. I was in this Chessable sweatshop. But now I'm free. I will use my freedom to go on holidays. Before that, tomorrow... I'm not sure if I can talk about this. Tomorrow I'm doing stuff. Wow, I'm so secretive. Then I think Paparappa is saying he's sorry. The mobile doesn't work well. What's going on? Sorry to hear. And he resigns. Some tech issues there. I guess you can't challenge from the Chess24 app, so maybe try challenging through the phone from browser. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, sorry, Paparappa. Next time, let's play Viking Power. That does sound scary. Nice Geisley saying, hi Jan, haven't caught the stream in a while. Glad I finally caught this. I haven't been doing many, but I'm back. Even though I did the Bantathon with the boys. It was nice. It was a relaxed Bantathon over this, whatever it was called, Black Friday weekend. Was it over Thanksgiving weekend? Some weekend. Maybe that's the same weekend. Check. Viking Power. Give me that pawn. Already pawn up. Seriously speaking, though, this is theory, and I guess a somewhat critical line. I checked this a while back, and I thought black was okay. But details, je ne sais pas. Here, I should keep my bishop. So that makes my choice easy. If he goes a3, I guess I should take... Wow, long castles. Viking power was not kidding around. He's going straight for the throat. It's a bit scary. I'm scared. Maybe rook b8 was more to the point than a6. No, knight e5 could actually be somewhat annoying. e4 scares me less. I think knight e5 was a bigger concern. Now he has to go queen c2, and then I have options. As usual, I shall try the greediest. This really is somewhat excessively greedy. But hashtag YOLO. How many pawns can we take before it all falls apart? Oof, it's really insanely greedy. Knight c4, and I deserve to be punished. But I have a feeling I'll get away with it. You know, common sensation in life. We know what we do is wrong, but since there are no consequences to our actions, will we ever change our ways? Knight f3. Wow, queen e4 he can take, and then there's a checkmate on d8. I should not do that. Not gonna be able to do it, Viking power. Nice spot. Where should the queen go? c5, b6. Who knows? Where should the queen go? I can't sing. I should be doing extremely well. No, I didn't like bishop takes f6. Am I still allowed to castle? Yeah. You know the drill. I can't help myself. Another ridiculous move for the sake of grabbing another pawn. Thereby Xoxi D, that name rolls off the tongue, is asking only 3-minute games. No, I actually prefer 5-minute games. I just click on challenges, so I'm good either way. I clad in mighty arms is saying stupid question mark, but is this live? I don't know. I don't even know if the sound is on, and I would guess it's not that live. There's probably like a 10-second delay. I don't know. Like, I'm checkmating him now, and I'm not sure when you saw this, so it's hard to say. It is not pre-recorded, if you mean that. It is, I don't know what day it is. Oh, December 9th, 22:38 Central European time, unless I'm not in Central European time, in which case it's an hour earlier or later than that. Who knows these things? Let's play Sergei Rachmaninov. Wow, 2700. Why is my rating so low? Probably because I played so badly. That could be it. Yep, and is saying Banter-thon was great fun, but was it successful enough to repeat it at some point? I wouldn't know. Did you go premium? Yep. That's the point of the whole enterprise. That was a 40% discount. So I guess you didn't, and then I guess no. But seriously, I think it went fine, and yeah, I think the boys had fun. So hopefully we'll do it again. But you know, we have the numbers of people who are saying, you guys, glad we had a great time, but you need to make us some monies. But yeah, from what I heard, it was successful. What's going on here? Is this going to be successful? So many options. I'll just castle. I was wondering after cd95, knight c3 if I can take and go e4, which I guess is asking a lot of my position, so I probably shouldn't, but I'm somewhat intrigued. There were other options. D4 is a move, DC4 is a move, knight c6 is a move, c5 is a move. You name it, it's probably a move. He goes cd, knight d5, and yeah, this is what I was wondering, but no, it doesn't look right. I'll play, how do the cool kids call this? Positionally. I can't go knight c6 immediately because some knight takes e5 trick usually works then, even though I didn't think it through, but usually it works. So I'll go knight e7, knight c6, h6, bishop e6, g5, f5, well, queen b3 I don't get, but I don't have to. Can he actually take if I go bishop e6? Don't want to find out. I guess he can, but I can play some move. a5 or a6, after which he no longer can take, hopefully. And then I'll get there. a5 actually looks like a good preparation for bishop e6. Does that make sense? Now he has bishop c5. Also mildly curious, if I go here, he takes. I should have something, no? I should remind myself about my golden recipe in Blitz. Don't think about stuff forever. Make moves. Don't blunder your pieces. Win on time. That's all there is to it. Unless you want to checkmate people or play well. But in general, it's a pretty good strategy. If you throw in there, be good at openings, can take you very far in Blitz. Be good at openings. Make moves, don't blunder your pieces, win on time. So far, I'm making moves. I guess I'm still decent at openings. The not blundering my pieces part, we shall see. Rook a1, I will go c5 and establish this Marozzi bind, which should be fine for me. Then queen d7, put a horsey here. Put it on d4. Recapture with the e-pawn. Take the e2 pawn later, as Dorfman taught me. It's an interesting video series, the one. I was going to say I did with Dorfman, really. The one Dorfman did, and I sat next to him. A lot of, yeah, food for thought for me, at least. So now I can no longer put the knight on d4, but he's had to weaken his d3 pawn, so I should try to take that somehow. And I mean, the good take that with Robbie Williams, not like stepping into a pin. References to 90s boy bands are always crushing on this program. It's what the numbers department has told me. More 90s boy bands references, Jan. You can do E17 if you want to. You can do New Kids on the Block for the old timers out there. You can do Backstreet Boys. But if you go too weird with like worlds apart, we might be losing a part of our audience. Pun bad but intended. Hang on, I should think. I don't want to think. His queen is a bit offside, so I feel that this little exchange should favor me. Even though it's always somewhat worrying with the king sort of unsheltered on an open board. So I'm really not that sure if that was a good decision. So aggressive. What have I done to deserve this, Sergei? Have I wronged you? Is there something we can do about this? Can we hug it out? I'm not really a hugger. Talk about it. Yeah, he's playing well. I am starting to somewhat regret my decision. My king is weak, his queen is now central. So this is dangerous for me. Pretty dangerous. Alright, what was my rule again? I don't blunder your pieces, make moves. Getting tougher and tougher not to blunder my pieces. Here come the blunders. King is just too open. Forward, kingy. Yeah, it's not getting better, is it? You got to believe it's getting better. It's getting better all the time, but it's not. Uh-oh, Sergey. This is your moment. This is it. That would be mate in 1. That would be bad. So we can exclude that option. Getting completely crushed here. Oh boy. I should obey my own rule to not blunder my pieces. Good game by Sergei Rachmaninov, though. Gotta give credit where credit is due. And I almost feel bad about the horrible swindle that I think will happen to him. It's not gonna be a good feeling for him. I mean, I'll feel great. See? I do feel good. Sorry, Sergey, you deserved that one. You played much better than me. And I broke my rule. I did make moves, but I broke my rule about not blundering pieces, which never helps. So, sorry, Sergei Rachmaninov. Yossi Greens was walking around our office, our old office. We moved. Sorry, Yossi Greens. I guess it would say so on the website, too. Jane's 11 saying next time I'm in town, can I stop by? I don't know. I'm rarely in the office, to be honest. I'm mainly hiding in my basement. I'm in the basement right now. But if you track it down, you can ring the doorbell and probably someone will open you. Jane's 11. Or Jan Easy 11. Maybe that's what it means. I clad in mighty arms saying it's like watching a bad scene in a horror movie there. There are bad scenes in horror movies? I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I haven't seen It, or It 2, or A Quiet Place, or what's the one everyone's raving about? What's it called? I can't think of the title. There was a very hyped one in 2018, I think. B6. What do I do here? So many options. All right, let's go mainstream. I'm not. I can't think of that movie. Something like Sanctuary, but it wasn't Sanctuary. Horror movie 2018. Hereditary. That's the one I meant. Not exactly like Sanctuary. Hereditary. I haven't seen that one either. Viking Power is asking, Jan, would you recommend a 1500 rated player like me focusing on 3 or 5 minute games if you have a long-term goal of getting good in Blitz? Honestly, well, that's a choice, probably 5 minute, but honestly I would focus on, studying stuff, theory, calculating, and then you'll throw in your 5 or 3 minute Blitz games anyway. Because, let's face it, you are a Blitz addict, and it's fun to play Blitz, but if you just play 3 minute Blitz all day, I think it will be hard to improve. Even though I certainly became better at Blitz when I was very addicted to online Blitz in like 2001, 2002. But I also worked a lot on other stuff, so I would always have openings I could play in Blitz, and that helped a lot. But yeah, if those are the choices, I'll go with 5 minutes. Can I go d5? I kind of want to go d5. It's probably nonsense. Takes, bishop d5, and then I would need some move. See, old Jan, who was good at Blitz, would never even think about d5. He would take here in a second, then keep blitzing out moves until his opponent ran out of time. I miss the old Jan. I don't have anything particular here. If he takes and goes a6, so bishop b5. Was a very empty gesture. Maybe I have to make it look like I had a master plan with queen d1, but then f2 is hanging there. f2 and b5, I mean. h6 also looks like a decent move. Yeah, bishop b5 was very pointless. I think I should have taken on d1 first, because now he probably has to recapture with a knight, unless he wants to give me that a6 pawn, which would be taken with open arms. All right. So yeah, I think you should have started with rook d1 and then play a6, which looked completely fine. Well, now I don't really see. Abdullah Wittenberg is asking, Jan, what are your tips with the ladies? But you're Norwegian, that's a completely different culture. You don't talk to ladies during the week, then you guys get drunk on the weekend, and then you have the highest one-night stand rate in at least all of the European Union, probably in all of the world, and then you go back to not talking to each other. So I think you can just roll with the system, no? Trust me, I know I know Norwegian culture by heart. Still don't speak a word, and probably all Norwegian viewers will be very offended and strongly disagree with these statements. So I do apologize. But that's my theory, and I'll stand by it. Even though I just apologize for it. Also, I'm not a big drinker. And in Norway, people are much more concerned if you don't drink. If, let's say you're at a party on a Saturday and you're not drinking, or you're drinking water or whatever, coffee. Let's say water. Coke, for argument's sake. People will think, what's wrong with you? Are you pregnant? Are you an alcoholic? And there will be questions and some mild peer pressure. While here, you can get away with drinking your water. Not in Norway. Even though one beer costs like 15 euros and you have to buy your booze on a Saturday before the shop closes, because other than that, there's no booze to be purchased anywhere. You're still very keen on keeping that tradition alive. So there you go. Banter Chess saying, tell us more stuff. That's literally the show. It's me sitting here talking nonsense. Not nonsense, of course. Dropping knowledge. Dropping rooks. Finally, takes. I thought he would never take. And Jan Easy resigns. Drunk Duck is saying, wait, not drinking means you're an alcoholic in Norway. You get the point, right? If people aren't drinking, they think it's for a reason. That you must be a recovering alcoholic or pregnant or member of a religion that does not endorse drinking. While here, you can just order a Coke or sit at the party, drink water. Let's play Gaith Tea from Sweden, which is like, I don't know, Swedish culture that well. I guess it's somewhat different from Norway because they drink so much coffee. Like they do this, what's called flicka fika, like 15 times a day. So they're so high on caffeine once they arrive to the party that they're hyped up already. So they don't need to drink as much. But other than that, I will guess in Sweden it's pretty similar. Feel free to correct me, Gaith Tea. In spite of my name, I'm not as well versed in Swedish culture. What was this line? Knight f6, obviously we're back to regular kings. Indian c5, dc5 is not great. e5, you could also go d5, but that goes against my rule of keeping queens on the board for as long as possible, because then opponents think longer and you can flag them later. A man's gotta have rules. Man's gotta have a code. Was that Dexter? What's that? h4 is the most aggressive, so clearly I will go bishop e2, short castles. Now he's gonna play f5, because that's the one trick everybody knows. f5, ef, bishop d4, knight f5. And the bishop on this central square doesn't look great. But I was wrong, Gaith T doesn't know that trick. So now he has to suffer without any upside. Sorry, Gaith. Burns for 20 is saying, I haven't had a beer in almost 6 years. So, why Burns for 20? Let's play this Norwegian style. Is it because you are a recovering alcoholic? Is it because you just don't like the taste of beer and you're more of a wine or spirits drinker? You've opened this can of worms. We would like to know more. Fyodorovich is saying, a man's gotta have a coat. Yeah, that's humorous. Evans Gambit is saying, Jan, how did FM draw against you? Evans Gambit, you're a keen student of my games. You must have observed that I draw every other black game in Bundesliga. It's because I'm not very smart. So, what's your question? How did FM draw against you? He played well, I didn't play well. Also, they never ask, how did you beat Grandmaster on Saturday? They always ask about the draw. I'm annoyed. Sorry, Evans Gambit, not your fault. Flintheart is saying, confirmed, Jan's Norwegian dating game is 100%. There you go. It's nothing but facts here. F4 was factually bad. Flitzkak is asking, will you do commentary for the World Rapid and Blitz Championship? Yes, in the German, which, judging by your username, you can follow Flitzkake. It will be Grandmaster Robert Rabiga and yours truly. Looking forward to it. Should be fun. Burns for 20 saying, I love beer too much. I miss it. I miss it so much. I want to push f5 or e5 and checkmate Gaith t. Krasbass is saying, doesn't look like black is suffering too much here. Are they? What's with the are they? You got it right the first time with the is. And I disagree. Black is actually in quite some trouble here. Isn't he? Krasbass provoked me into this. I would never have done this. If not for the claim that black is not suffering. Now I feel must make Gaith T suffer. Must break his will. H4, H3. H4 is more active, mildly worried about blundering something. Then again, I always am. Let's see what happens. No, I shouldn't correct people's grammar and then continuously add grammar mistakes to my weird cadence. Sorry, good mood Jan has disappeared. Now it's self-conscious. Nitpicky Jan. Horsey or Ponzi? Let's go with the Ponzi scheme. I want to checkmate you, sir. Sir Guy. Gaith. Gaith? Must be Gaith. Gaith T. Can I do something funky? Or would that backfire? See, this could backfire. Rook f5, queen f5, bishop f5, knight f3. Oh no! Queen g5, only move according to my calculations, because if not I take the horsey or the pawn. So he has to go here. And now, how do I do this? It's a bit of a pity to exchange queens. Then again I can take some stuff over there. Who knows? Gaith T still suffering. Check, check, check. So many checks. Here's one. There is another one. And a third one is coming. Thank you for the game, Gaith T. Fyodorovich saying I've been to Weimar for Kaffee and Kuchen. Sounds good. Weimar is nice, right? I don't think I've ever been there. Evans Gambit is asking, amongst many other things, will you and Peter do commentary on Vike? Yes, we will. Who cares about your chess? Is saying, hey Jan, how are you? I keep studying, but I still have the same rating. What am I doing wrong? Let me answer by quoting your username, sir. Let's play somebody else. Now, yeah, I have no idea what you're doing wrong. I don't know what you're doing. It's the same for me. I also keep studying. My rating has been 2640 for the last 20 years. Like, with ups and downs. It's also not true, but let's say 15 years. Not really that many ups and downs. I fell below 2.6 once in like 2007, and I got annoyed. Then I got back. And that's the story. Let's play Fire. It's gonna be a Fire Festival, because we know that turned out great. Horsey out. G3, so solid. I'm solid. I hope you're solid too. Can I take? There was something going on here with taking, right? That let's take and then discuss it. This used to be considered to be a good option for black, I think, but nowadays the cool kids, they're up to something here. Some a4, I'm not sure which one it was. 'Cause in the old days we were taught knight e5, knight g4 is fine for black, and that's all there is. But I believe things are no longer as simple. Still, knight g4 is a useful little move to keep in mind. If knight takes c4, I can take on d4. If it takes, I'm fine. And yeah, it stops white from just cleanly regaining his pawn. Flitzekak is saying, focus on your chess, Jan. Now you tell me I'm 40. Someone should have told me 15 years ago. Or are you saying in the show, stop talking nonsense, focus on your chess? That's not gonna happen. Will never happen. Because this is Banter Blitz. And they don't call me Dr. Bruce Banter for nothing. No, you're right. No one calls me that. See, now you distracted me. I was so focused on this game, and then I just castled. And now it's all gone to... I can't curse, but you know which word I'm thinking of. I blame you, and only you, whoever it was. Flitzekacke, it's all your fault. All right, having said all that, what do I do now? I'll go here. This looks like a deep grandmasterly move. And it's probably crap. I think I'm allowed to say crap, but not the other word. I'm certainly allowed to say craps. Which I don't enjoy. Not a gambler. What was my point? Was my point c5 or was I bluffing? I was probably bluffing. One day I might do it though. Just so you know. One day. I don't know. I guess the position is roughly equal. He has more stuff in the center, so I have to be a little careful. But he also has to be a little careful with moves like queen to b4, because I might develop very quickly. So queen b4, I'm not a fan. I guess he's still hanging in there after queen b3, but I'm still not a fan. Can I do stuff? Not sure if I can do stuff. C5 DC, it's not going anywhere. That's a great pity. I wish I could do stuff. I don't see the stuff. I can simplify with 95. Even though it does ruin his structure, so I probably shouldn't be too concerned about it. Still concerned. A5. That should keep some more play in the position. If I manage to keep some more play in the position. Here maybe? I'm just gonna assume he can't take. I haven't thought it all through. Rook b8, queen somewhere. But you know. Sometimes we gotta assume stuff. Now I have to calculate to make my assumption make sense. So knight b7, rook b8, here's queen a4, queen a3, hitting the knight. Then I could take queen a6, rook b2, but that doesn't look very promising. I can throw in queen e4, makes it look a little more promising. Still not too promising. He goes for it. Wow, you can't bluff anybody these days. People are so greedy. Not in a bad way, in a porn grabby way. By the way, he maybe also had knight d6. Oh no, this is a... Sorry, I'm talking nonsense. There's no tricks. Then again, why should there be tricks? I don't deserve any tricks. I'll just go for this and hope it's not too bad. So greedy. One problem I have with h5 is usually people go h4. And then on paper I've achieved something, but often I don't know what to do next. Other than congratulate myself for this great achievement, that now his light squares are whatever. He goes queen c7, what is that about? Maybe he wants queen f4 or something, but e2 was hanging, so shouldn't worry about it too much. Ah, e2, wow. He's thought this through. Wow. Because b8 was also hanging. It's what escaped my eagle-eyed attention from afar. I guess it should be roughly equal, but I'm trying to figure out how to win. I should keep this guy for starters. Just, you know, for later cheapos. Rook c1, so passive. Counterplay. Fire. Rook c1 was too tight. Oh, does he have resources? Like takes rook back to c1, trapping my rook c? That'd be cute. That is very nice. Or I'm not sure how good it is, but it's good enough to scare me away from actually doing it. Now I'm gonna have to feel bad about flagging again. He rubs it in by offering a draw. Ugh, now I blundered this pawn too. Do I have to give him a draw here? Now I feel bad. Draw, come on. Somehow, yeah. It feels wrong to flag in such positions, even though it's tempting. And I do consider it a sign of weakness that I don't do it. But yeah, good game by Fire. I thought I was winning, but then after this rook h2, rook c1 was a nice resource, which I'm not sure if it's great, but it bothered me. Let's play Markus Voss. The Rossolimo. Here's a good opening. I read about this in this Vichy Files book, where the Vichy team moved from the Sveshnikov to the Rossolimo in the 2012 match. Interestingly, opposite what Team Caruana did, who moved from the Rossolimo to the Sveshnikov in the 2018 match. Chess is so complicated. What do they do here? They go c3, they go rook e1. One of the two, right? I think you start with rook e1, so knight f6. You can go e5, knight d5, c4, and so on. Now you do something, I guess, c3, no? d6, for some reason, is not that common, even though it looks like a perfectly normal move. Evans Gambit, would you flag him if you were not streaming this? Nah, probably not. I don't think I'd deviate much from what I do in usual games. Frankly, I probably wouldn't be playing as him if I wouldn't be streaming this. But no. But thanks for the question, Evans Gambit. Always valued. Whoa! Quincy! Markus Voss. Get confused. And often in the Marshall, this is a good structure for black because the knight comes to d3. But here the knight is pinned. And I took a queen and a bishop. So here it doesn't work. Who shall I play? Wow, Magnisimus. Mr. Fluffington is saying, what is happening? Is Jan no longer the mayor of Flagville? I still flag in many games, but I've always felt kind of bad about flagging in like 3 versus 3 pawn endgames, so usually I don't do that. Especially after I blundered one of my 3 pawns. But yeah, everyone has to draw the line wherever they're comfortable with it. I don't think there are rules other than you need to make your moves within the time assigned to you. So, yeah. That's all I got. Bishop g5 I've never seen. Interesting move. Let's see what he wants after knight f6. Takes, I'm not sure, is a great idea. So I guess white just wants to play knight d2 with some move. And the game continues. Not sure. I've never seen this bishop g5 move. Knight f3 looks wrong because I can go knight e4 with tempo. At least I would assume so. Here we go. Come on, guys. I'm in a cranky mood already, so you're making me more cranky. Arch and I are saying playing the Caro-Kann after releasing e4, e5 series is bad advertising. Do you see my crushing victory with e4, e5 in the two knights defense earlier. Isa Volpe is saying, "Hi Jan, just got your course on Chessable. Thanks, thank you, lots. Looks all kinds of excellence. Thank you. Yeah, I worked hard on the thing. So glad you like it. 92. Not working hard on this game yet against Magnissimus. I guess it's roughly equal, but I'm not too happy with how things went here. Actually, these positions are often somewhat easier to play for white. I have to be a bit careful. Castle, there's knight g5, so good job, Magnissimus. Also castle into it. Finhai says, wondering, is he saying greedy or grady? I don't know what grady means, so I was probably saying greedy. Lappen887 is saying, Jan, one of the best self-comedian. What's a self-comedian? Chess streamers, love to watch him and love so much about his comments. Thanks, Lappen887. I need a little pep talk, I feel. My mood was switching from cranky to very cranky. I was in a good mood at the start of the show. Did I not win some game? Ah yeah, there was this game where I didn't flag. But that should not be enough to break me. Maybe it is. F6. Ugh. I believe if Magnus saw this f6 move, he would have some harsh words for it, because it looks wrong. I think it's still a minority attack position, rook b8, b5, and not a go for trickery in the center position. Because here, for example, rook ad1, my pawns really are not an asset. There are weaknesses. e4, he has rook e4, so that doesn't work. And after rook d8, let's say c4. I might have to clarify the situation with d4, which I really don't want to do. So I'm going to have to look for tricks, and I'm not sure they exist. Along is saying, Jan, will Chess24 and Chessable fuse one time? A little Googling might help you there. Our friends at Chessable are part of the big family. What do you think? I would get borrowed to them. Can't take on f3. Not sure that's good. Probably it's bad, actually. But being the firebrand that I am. Sorry for being so condescending and annoying about every question. Remember, it's not you, it's me. As I've told many girls, and I always meant it, because I'm a narcissist. So it's always about me. But yeah, also remember, there are no stupid answers, only stupid questions. Was that the rule? I think so. I don't want to lose to Magnissimus. What is Magnissimus? Is that a Roman emperor or some muscle? Could also be like your gluteus magnissimus or something. Nah, that's not it. Or is it just Magnus as an emperor? Someone tell me. C4, good move. Did not see C4. flag again. I feel bad. Excellent move, c4. Yeah, I might have had to go for knight takes c4, rook f3, queen f3, but I really didn't want to. Now I'm probably just lost, but I will win. Paparappa is saying probably just the superlative of Magnus. Yeah, that makes sense. Magnisimus. The stress of chess, huh? Magnisimus. Lemuel Gullible, what's that about? Is asking, Jan, which is the greatest city in Germany? And how does this question continue? Or is that your question? And why is it Hanover? Literally, no one has ever, and I do mean some offense to our friends in Hanover, literally no one has ever mentioned Hanover on a list of great cities. Not just in Germany, but in Niedersachsen. In the greater Hanover region, it does not come up as a great city. I don't know what's wrong with it. They have all the ingredients, everything's there. They have the water, was it the lake in the city? There's a lot of good stuff going on in Hanover, but somehow it doesn't click, and I do not know why. And I might get flagged here if I keep talking trash about Hanover. And who wants that? Now I might get checkmated, but he probably wants that. Run, Forest. Home sweet home. Okay. You want to go to Flagville? It's a nice little town. And thanks for the game, Magnisimus. But to answer the question, what is the greatest city in Germany? I'm from Hamburg, so we're being brought up, indoctrinated, that Hamburg is the greatest city in the world. People in Hamburg really believe that. Then you start moving around a little in the world and you start having some doubts, even though Hamburg is nice. As for the greatest city in Germany, I'm nowadays, that I'm very old, I'm a sucker for some of these smaller cities, like Baden-Baden. I think Baden-Baden is fantastic. Freiburg, Emmendingen, Heidelberg, all these like southeast, like 100,000 inhabitants people. 100,000 inhabitants people, that's how you say it. Last game, Chessy Boy. I like even smaller places. Talking of Niedersachsen, Lemgo. I don't think that's ever been on any greatest cities list either. But I had a great time in Lemgo. I thought it was beautiful, compact, you have everything there. So, I don't know. As a Hamburgian, that's not how we call ourselves, I have a feeling I have a moral obligation to say Hamburg. But really, the Baden-Badens, Heidelbergs, Freiburgs of the world, they're beautiful places. Lemuel Gullible is saying some offense taken. Fair enough. Gavin Walker is saying Ulm. It's impossible. It's literally impossible to get to Ulm from anywhere. Like anywhere in Germany, studies have been done. No matter what your starting point is, you always need 10 hours to get to Ulm. So that's a problem. Finnheister is saying, isn't in Hamburg a lot of violence? That's what I hear from it. Yeah, the mean streets of Hamburg. I'm guessing you're referring to the G20 thing, which was some years ago, and I think that had less to do with Hamburg, but more with the G20. I don't think so. I think Hamburg is a reasonably peaceful place, but it's a city of 2 million, so I'm sure crimes are committed somewhere. I wouldn't think it's very violent. I don't have the statistics at hand, but I'm fairly sure that Hamburg is not very high on crime stats. It's because we don't talk to each other, so there's not a lot of fighting going on, you know. Sergei Rachmaninov is saying Hamburg is located near the border with Denmark. Yeah, not that near, but we're in the north, so it's not that far. Queen b8, very deep. I don't know what to do as usual. Sit around and wait. a3 is a pathetic move. I should have played bishop g3 or some move with half a purpose. But I have not. Oh boy. I can't wait for the first 5,000 YouTube comments. No sound. Yeah. 30 people watching, but 5,000 comments right now. No sound. No sound. No sound. Audio off. No sound. Can we do some editing? Can we cut out the first couple minutes on the YouTubes? We probably can, right? Probably even I can do it if I wasn't so lazy and stupid. But it should be doable. Give me that pawn, Jesse. I would like to have that pawn. He gave me that pawn. He took one of mine in return, which is unfortunate. But you can't have everything. All right, can I take? I thought after queen c1 I can go queen d3 and keep the a3 pawn and the bishop alive. Knight e4 might be a better move. Yeah, that's actually a bit unpleasant. I will continue playing greedily with bishop e2, check bishop f1. But he has some activity now, so I'm not sure. Jesse, what are you thinking about? Bishop g4? Knight c5, that looks off topic, I would say. The knight was so nice on e4. Shouldn't move it away from the action. Check and queen e1 was suggested, but then I had queen e2. That didn't really do very much, as far as I could tell. And to his credit, Jesse returns to a much greener pasture, the e4 square. The game remains sharp. Chess e1. I wonder if you choose the username Chessy1, what is the rationale? Is it, I'm the Chessy one in my family, so I call myself Chessy1? Is it I really want chess, so I'll try all, I really like chess, so I'll try all chess-related usernames, like chess, chess1, chess2, chess3. All chesses are taken, so I'm moving on to Chessy. Is that what happened? I would like to know. Please inform me, Chessy1, how you arrived at the username. Is it because your real name is Jesse, so it's wordplay? '92 was wrong. Now was the time for queen e1. Who knows what might have happened? I know what might have happened. I would have flagged Chessy1 either way, but I might have felt bad about it. That's... it's not good to feel bad. It's nicer to feel good. These are some thoughts I have arrived at after lengthy meditation and self-reflection. So my new plan is to start feeling better, because I'm very often miserable for no particular reason. I'm not sure that can be changed, and I don't think happiness, I can't even pronounce it. Happiness is a permanent state, but more of a moment. But I do think Calm can be found out there. It's an app, you can download it. And that was it for today. As mentioned, I'll be doing commentary on the World Banter Blitz in German with Robert Rabiga on from when does it start? December 26th till December 30th. It's gonna be fun. Magnus Boy is playing. Then Weikanzee starts January 10th. Until, I don't know, it lasts like 3 months or something. Starts, I think, January 10th. Peter Svidler will be here and we'll be doing English commentary. Probably a premium only show, even though I'm not sure if that's decided already. My course on Chessable is out. Check that out. It's an e4, e5 complete repertoire for black. So if you can't imagine anything better than going through very dull files and hearing me talk for like 25 hours, then knock yourself out. I worked hard on it. I hope you guys like it. I think to promote it even more, we'll play a clip. I'll be back on, I think I have another Banter Blitz on Wednesday maybe. So hopefully I will manage to stay cheerful, young, upbeat, positive all the way there. Thank you guys so much for joining, for hanging out in the chat. Apologies for the audio problems at the beginning, which resulted in me not pressing the sound button because I'm new to this. No, I'm not. I'm stupid. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.
A complete repertoire against 1E4 based on 1E5, now available to study with Chessable's unique Move Trainer technology. The backbone is the Marshall Gambit against the Spanish, with 3 Knight F6 against the Italian. Jan Gustafsson has revisited all these lines he has played for 20 years and worked on as a second for Peter Lecko and Magnus Carlsen, amongst others, with the help of the most powerful engines out there, Leela 0 and Stockfish 10. This has led to many new discoveries and a repertoire ready to master on Chessable that can serve the student for a long chess career.
Maybe E4 doesn't exist after all.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.